because that's a projected deadline when it's supposed to be finished. Now, the Hafen City started in the year 1997. That's about the first time when I came here to Hamburg. And I remember this part of the city just being dirt fields, maybe a few industrial warehouses. It was a real eyesore for the city. And the mayor at the time came up with this idea to redevelop this part of the city and make it a completely new district within the city of Hamburg. So the city started to buy up all the land here. They did it secretly so no one would hear of the plans of redeveloping this part of the city and holding their land for a much higher amount than it was actually worth at that time. And when the city bought up all the land here, they opened it up to developers, a lot of famous architects, and also had a lot of architectural competitions here as well. And as you can imagine, it is kind of like an architect's playground where they can experiment with new ideas and designs. The Hafen City will have around 12,000 new apartments when it's completed. It'll have around 40,000 new offices. It'll have everything you need for a new city. It'll have stores and shops, cafes and restaurants, schools and kindergartens, a completely new line of the subway that's been built here, the U4, which just opened up a few months ago. Part of the universities being built here, and several major science research and development centers are being built here as well. So really a major new district for the city. But by far the most famous building that's being built here in the Hafen City is right over there. It's called the Elbphilharmonie, and it is going to be the new symphonic concert hall of the city of Hamburg. It was originally scheduled to be finished in 2010. As you can see, they haven't made that deadline. The new deadline is 2016. We'll have to see if they make that deadline because they just started working on it about 5 days ago after a 2-year break. Now, it was designed by a very famous architect firm. They're called Herzog & de Boeren, and they are from Switzerland. They are very famous architects because they're the ones that designed the bird's nest in Beijing for the 2008 Olympic Games. So definitely some very prominent architects that designed it. And it's definitely going to be more than a symphonic concert hall. There'll also be 2-chamber music halls inside, a 5-star hotel, a restaurant, luxury apartments, and also a parking facility inside. So really a major new complex for the city. And it's supposed to represent the sails on a sailing ship. You can get the feeling of that with the swooping roof and the waved glass. If you go to the other side of the Elbphilharmonie, it looks even more like sails on a sail ship. And each window on the Elbphilharmonie is unique. There's no two that are the same, which makes them extremely expensive. Each window costs around 20,000 euros, which brings us to the subject of the budget. The original budget was around 77 million euros, and they went over budget in just the planning of the building. So before they even started to build it, they went over budget. And they went over budget not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times, not 6 times, a total of 7 different times. And the budget today is 875 million euros, so about 11 to 12 times the original budget. A lot of people here in the city are getting very angry and upset that it's costing so much money, also that they're having so many delays in the building of it, and there's several lawsuits going on because there were cracks in the concrete. But as a tour guide, I'm not supposed to say anything bad about the Elbphilharmonie, so I'll just say whenever it's completed, it's going to be an amazing and spectacular design, whenever that is. You have a question?
Is it the first time anything's been delayed or behind schedule built in Germany?
No, there's actually quite a few things that have gone wrong. If you heard the Berlin airport, they have their problems there building it. They're going over budget. You can also take a look at the train station in Stuttgart, the Stuttgart 21 project there. They're also having their problems of building that there as well. So I think it's kind of usual here in Germany. When you estimate how much it's going to cost, you always estimate it a little bit cheaper because once you start building it, you have to finish it. So that's a typical German thing. Once you start to give an estimate that's much lower than what it's actually going to be. So Germany does have its problems with building things sometimes. So So, if any of you are interested in learning more about this Elbphilharmonie, you can go in this direction to this small glass cube-shaped building at the end of this waterway. That's called the Elbphilharmonie Pavilion. That's an information pavilion explaining a little bit about this design. There you can look at videos of what it's, the construction, or look at pictures of what it's going to look like when it's completed. You can also go up inside and take a look at a model of how the inside of the concert hall is going to look like. So if any of you are interested in learning more about the Elbphilharmonie, you can go to the Elbphilharmonie Pavilion right over there. You have a question, yes?
Are the windows supposed to look like that?
Yes, they're supposed to be like waved windows.
No, but they look so dirty. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, they do have a reflective lining on them, so when the sun reflects off the water, it doesn't reflect too much into the building itself. So that's probably this reflective, this foil that they put on the windows.
The building's clad.
What?
It's clad in plastic, isn't it?
Yeah, they have some kind of foley in it. Yeah, the bottom side is covered in scaffolding, but they do have some kind of weird high-tech foley that is on the windows.
The windows for the heat.
Yeah, for the heat and for the sunshine, exactly.
Sunshine, yeah.
So, also in that direction is a very historic spot because that's where Klaus Störtebeker, the pirate that I talked a little bit about at the beginning of our tour, was executed by the Hanseatic League in the year 1401. So to learn a little bit about the legend that made Klaus so infamous, we'll go right over here. You can have a seat on the benches and we'll talk about what made Klaus so famous.